Welcome, College of Eastern Idaho students, staff, faculty, and community members to another edition of Falcon Features with Lori and Mike and Lori, or as we like to call updates, or as we like to call Facebook Live.
All of
How are you today, Lori? What?
I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I just said, how are you?
I am awesome today. It's Monday. It's fabulous. And it was snowing outside, like practically a blizzard.
It was insane, and that was not even forecasted. And yesterday I got a sunburn, so it's interesting to see snow the next day. Well, we're excited for another edition. Today we're going to focus a lot on financial aid, so I'm very excited for that for our special guests, Amy Anderson and Tiffany Cleverly. But before that point, Lori has our amazing quote, and we have some great updates.
Hence the name, updates. Or hence why we keep calling it updates. Okay, well, Mike, it's great to be back with you again for another edition of Falcon Features. So I do have a quote as usual. So our quote today comes from Dr. Martha Beck. She is a best-selling author, a sociologist, and also a life coach. And in one of her books, she wrote, quote, "All mental hygiene is based on the core practice of doing nothing. Most of us are good at wasting time, staring at the wall, while telling ourselves we should be working. We call this doing nothing, but our brains are furiously active. We think constantly, and our thinking is often rife with distress," end quote. So I love this because it really gets to the heart of why some of us feel like we never have any rest. We're ending the near of the semester, and many of you might be feeling stressed out. So I wanted to remind you that it's okay to rest and do nothing, even if you only have 5 minutes a day to do so. But in order for that 5 minutes to be really restful, you've got to really learn how to rest when it's time to rest and work when it's time to work. Most of us never feel like we get any really deep rest because when we're doing nothing, like the quote said, our minds are always worrying about either what we didn't get done yesterday or what all the things we have to do in the coming days. So you can begin to train your mind to be still and rest. And if you do that, even if you only have 5 minutes of rest, that 5 minutes of doing nothing will feel more refreshing and calming than if you spend 2 hours, you set aside 2 hours that you say you're going to rest, and you're constantly worrying and stressed out. So I also want to remind you that if you're struggling and stressed out as we come into the final stretch of the semester, you can make an appointment with our Director of Counseling Services, Haley Holland. She's there for short-term counseling for our students and to help get you through whatever short-term problems you might be dealing with. All right, Mike, that was a lot today, but I will kick it back over to you.
You know, I love that quote and I love that message, and it's really important for our students. So thank you, Lori. And, you know, as a reminder, there's also lots of other campus resources like the Center for New Directions for study skills tips as we're winding down, and it's never too late. So don't forget that it's never too late. You can always fix a problem, and good luck, students.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have some general COVID reminders. So as usual, the CEI COVID's updates page can be found on our main page. You can go there and click on the link that just showed up on the screen, and it can tell you everything that's going on with regard to COVID on campus. As always, you can report any COVID-related questions or concerns, including your positive test, to covid@cei.edu. That's up on the screen now. Also, remember that we're wearing masks on campus. We're physically distancing. We're still doing everything that we have done kind of since the beginning of this whole fiasco, making sure we're washing our hands. And it's really helped us keep our doors open when a lot of institutions haven't been able to. So I know we're all COVID fatigued. I feel like we're coming into the final stretch. Many of us who want them are getting vaccinations. That's helping us move towards being able to have hopefully a more normal semester starting in the fall. But for now, masks, hand washing, report any of your positive cases to the email on the screen, and let's just make it through the home stretch, and let's get to hopefully next semester, and a completely normal semester is what we're hoping for.
Yes, amen to that. Student Senate applications were emailed last week, so please apply if you're interested in getting involved. And you'll get more emails here and there as well, but voting is soon as well. April social media challenges are continuing to move forward. Today at Student Senate, we'll be drawing for the winner of the April 16th National Stress Awareness Day. You can see the live link for the Zoom meeting for Student Senate. It's always that link, which you have been sent in the past into your email. So there it is. And we'll do a live drawing for everyone who participated in the Less Stress CEI hashtag challenge this last week. Coming up next week, and this week really, sorry, not next week, this week, is the April 23rd Earth Day Challenge. So Earth Day is the 22nd, but the challenge goes until the 23rd. The CEI Science Club is doing a garbage cleanup day at the property that CEI owns across the street from the campus on Hit Road, on the other side of Hit Road by those storage units. But we're meeting in room 582. 582. But you'll see another email about that, and it's also on our social media page. But you can do the hashtag that's in your email. We'll get it out to you. I can't remember what it is. Should have had that one ready. But that's activities this Friday, and also then there's one more social media challenge next week for International Dance Day. Remember, only one entry per student, and you can see your email about how to enter on social media. And it's on our Instagram and Facebook pages. So good luck. Big prizes, things that have to do with Apple, like iPads, and other cool stuff. So check it out.
Lots of good activities going on. That's awesome. All right, so I have some financial aid updates. It's a little lengthy, but we will get through it. So FAFSA is open for fall 2021 and for spring 2022. You complete that now, so you will be ready for fall 2021. It's also not too late to complete the FAFSA for summer 2021, and you're going to be using your 2018 income for that, 2018. You can fill out your CEI summer application form once you have registered for summer classes to see your financial aid remaining eligibility. Summer fees are due by May 7th. It's hard to believe that is right around the corner, but May is upon us. We're almost there.
Even though it snowed today.
Even though it snowed today. Blizzarded. It was a blizzard. Let's just pay for like 5 minutes. All right, the last day to add or drop summer classes is June 11th. Withdrawing from one class or a few classes can affect your satisfactory academic progress, so be sure you're checking with financial aid before you drop to see how you will be affected. It's always better to do that before than after. Withdrawing from all classes will cause a payback to your financial aid. Please contact financial aid to discuss your options and potential payback. For scholarship information, you can call 208-535-5616. Or you can go to the financial aid or foundation office, and they'll be glad to assist you. The Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund 2, or HERF 2, is providing emergency funding to institutions of higher ed to assist with students in need and who have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic. CEI has received funds and will be awarding these funds this week. So watch your email. Be sure you're checking your email every day. Watch your email for award information. Funds will be dispersed out to students next week.
Thanks, Lori. So summer semester tuition and fees are due, like she said, Friday, May 7th. But payment plans are available, and direct deposit is also available for refunds. So sign up for e-refund to receive those funds directly deposited into your checking and savings account. You can contact the cashier at 208-524-3000, option 3, if you have any questions about your balance, payment plans, or e-refund, or anything else cashier related.
All right. Thanks, Mike. So just a reminder that the Falcon Food Pantry will be open today from 12:30 to 1:30. If you're in need of any to-go food items for your home and family, or household and hygiene items, please stop by. The Falcon Food Pantry is in Building 5 in room 528, just inside entrance number 2 to the Building 5, the southeast side of the building entrance. As always, if this time is not convenient but you'd like to visit the pantry, you can call the Center for New Directions at 208-535-5363 or stop by Building 5, room 591, and we're happy to make an appointment that works for you, that's convenient for you. It's a great, great resource we have on campus.
I was just going to say the same thing. It's a wonderful resource, and if you need it or if you know someone else who needs it, please partake of it. The Cybersecor Summer Camp is designed to introduce high school students to the world of cyber physical computing systems that are all around us. This is done in the context of working with Raspberry Pi, personal computers, and laptops to discover issues of cybersecurity, system configuration, networking, programming, and circuit design. So if you are interested or know somebody who is or eligible, that might be a good idea. Throughout the week, campers will have opportunities to discuss ethical and legal issues of cybersecurity and explore career and education options with local guest speakers from research and industry. High school teachers can attend the Cybercore Summer Camp July 19th to 23rd in Idaho Falls, as well as a pre-camp seminar to gather materials and teaching insights for incorporating computing into their existing curriculum as well. So you can contact the instructor for more information. The instructor is Michael Haney at 208-533-8209 or mhaney@uidaho.edu. The cost is $60 through the University of Idaho, and links are on the screen for the intro camp and the advanced camp. And that's a CEI partnership with Workforce Training, so it's an exciting opportunity. Okay, well, those are all of our announcements today. So we're very excited to bring into our discussion about financial aid today Amy Anderson and Tiffany Cleverly. Tiffany Cleverly is our Director of Financial Aid, and Amy Anderson is our Financial Aid Coordinator. And we have had them on board for a little while now. Amy is a newer employee, and Tiffany has been in her role for almost a year. But has been with CEI for several years and has worked in financial aid for about 14 years. So I'm very excited. We're very excited to bring them as guests on the show. Tiffany's been on the show before a long time ago, and Amy is new to the show. So welcome.
Yeah, but Tiffany, I think it was pre-COVID, so it feels like it was decades ago because COVID made us all enter some sort of weird time warp. So
it was in the Ice Age that we invited Tiffany into the program.
Welcome, Tiffany and Amy. We're glad you're here with us today. Thanks for taking some time.
Thanks for having us.
So we'll start out with Amy. First, Amy, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and how you came to work for College of Eastern Idaho.
So I've lived here in Idaho Falls most of my life. I love music, playing the guitar, listening to it. And my nieces and nephew would tell you that I am the coolest aunt ever. So just in case.
Why are you so cool?
Because my name is Amy and I play with them. I just give them my time. I like to spend a lot of time with them. So
I thought you were going to go into a rap. My name is Amy and I like to say that I
sing, I don't rap.
And nieces, I do play. Anyway.
Good job. Right. I sing, I don't rap. So
okay, that's better.
No, but I've been in higher education for about 15 and a half years now. I started out as a work study for ISU here in Idaho Falls and worked my way up to an admin. And then about 9 months ago, I was looking for a change and I was able to start here. So I had a couple of friends that were telling me, like, why don't you apply over there? Why don't you apply? And I says, I will go over there. It's like, I worked with Tiffany and Raquel before. I was like, if there's a spot that opens up for Tiffany or Raquel, I will take it and I will go. So Tiffany had a spot that opened up first and I was lucky enough to get that position. And it's just been a lot of fun being over here, working with them again and a lot of other familiar faces. And so it's been great.
We do have quite a few people that have come here from the Idaho State University, Idaho Falls campus, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we're thrilled to have you here, Amy. So
thank you.
You're part of Team CEI now. So
that's been great.
All right. So Tiffany, I have the next question for you. So it's really the same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also talk to us about how you landed. How did you land in this role for the past year?
Okay. Well, as Mike said, this week marks my first year as the financial aid director. And before that, I was the coordinator. And before that, I was an advisor. So I've worked here at CEI for about 7 years and in financial aid for 14. Our prior director, he was offered a position in Boise and he took his family and moved. So this position opened up and honestly, it was a little scary to apply for, but I thought, I've been in financial aid and you got to start somewhere. And so I thought I'm going to try and we'll see if I can get this director thing under my hat, and we're working on it.
You're doing amazing, Tiffany, and especially through COVID, a lot has fallen to you to figure out how to distribute funds from the federal government, which is great. It's great that we have the money, but it's time consuming to figure out the equitable and the right way to distribute that to our students. So you've done an amazing job.
It's been a very busy year, more so than I ever anticipated, but it's great. I love it. I love what I do. I went to school when I was an older student. I was, oh gosh, I think I was like 26 or 27 when I went back to school, and it was scary, and I didn't know what I wanted to be. Even at that age, I still had no clue. And so I just said, you know what, I don't care. I'm just going to go to school and I'll figure it out as I go. And I too, just like Amy, got a work study position and worked in the financial aid. And they started me on what they used to call, oh gosh, what was it, Amy? It was like Hell Week is what they called it. It was a crazy week, and at Idaho State University, and I almost quit about the third day in. It was terrible. But after that week, I felt bad because they were so busy, and I thought, okay, I'll just give them the semester. And then about 6 months in, I realized how much I really enjoyed it. And I loved the atmosphere. I loved helping students. I loved everything about it. And here I am. So it was meant to be, I decided.
So I think all four of us were work study. So keep that in mind.
Really?
Yeah, so I was work study. I know Mike was, and now you guys have both said you are.
Awesome.
I told the story before that I was a work study in career planning and placement. I still remember Joanne Kolstad. She smoked unfiltered Camel cigarettes, and this was at the time she was still smoking buildings, so that's how old I am. I'm really old. Anyway, and so I learned so much, but not how to smoke cigarettes. Don't do that. It's bad for you. Anyway.
Yep, and I participated in the federal work study program doing special projects for the history department at BYU, Idaho. So there weren't the unfiltered cigarettes in that environment.
No.
But it was a good start. And then I got a student position after that and I was a TA. So anyway, work study was a foot in the door to my whole entire career. And I know we all say that. It's a really important federal aid.
We've actually hired on many full-time employees here just at CEI that I'm aware of from work study positions. It gives you a great upper hand. It gives you tons of experience. I love it. It's an awesome opportunity.
It is.
Yeah. So I'll also of note, Tiffany was my first pandemic hire. So we did her entire interview process virtually.
Online, yeah.
So weird.
So weird.
Now it's just, we're used to it, but.
I felt like I sort of cheated because I made quick notes, and then when I got stumped, I just kind of looked down.
You can do that in any interview process. It's so much easier to get away with it when it's on Zoom.
Nobody can see it. It's true. And
we had been doing Zoom interviews before the pandemic, so we were ready for things like that. But it was always like a weeding out process. It wasn't an entire process. And so that was a learning experience. And I'm glad we've kind of moved back away from that safely now. But anyway, well, the next question is for Amy. Amy, tell us some of the differences between a financial aid coordinator and a director, and what do your advisors do in financial aid?
Okay, quick thing back to Tiffany's. It was called fee payment. Was that week? The other name was kind of what we called it in the office.
Oh.
Informal names.
So, yeah, it was fee payment. Always a very crazy week. I went from printing out TranPays to fee loans to cashiering. It was much craziness. So this right now, when I was thinking about this question, the coordinator position is still a work in progress for me. Tiffany is gradually, as they come up, she's given me the new things to do. I think, though, the difference between a coordinator and the director is that the coordinator is here to help the director kind of with some of that background busy work that nobody really sees. And I'm able to help her out with that so that she can focus on, coming up with ways to disperse those funds, the CARES funds that we got last year, and then the other ones that we have that are coming out this week. I'm able to help with, she got started now on looking at some policies and procedures to make sure that we're in compliance with the federal regulations and that they look the same. So it's still working, coordinator, director. We work really close together, and that works that way. Our advisors are awesome. They meet with our students more regularly than Tiffany and I do. But they meet with our students and they give them the assistance that they need. They'll answer their questions about their award. And they also process the verification forms. That is a behind the scenes thing as well. But those students that are flagged for verification, they process all of those forms and get them ready and double check them and make sure that award is out and correct. And I've loved working with this team. I've already worked with 3 of them before. Been great getting to know all 4 of them again. But we have an awesome team here in the financial aid office.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Amazing team. All right, Tiffany, next question for you. You've talked about this just a little bit, but maybe you want to just expand on it a bit. So tell us how you transitioned into the director role and what that entails.
Well, honestly, I am still transitioning into this role as director. It's not something that is black and white. Like you get the role and here's your set of instructions of what you do as a director. It is very, as things come up throughout the year, like this year, so many things were just kind of landed in my lap and just, we had to decide what to do with them. But it is a very busy job and continuous learning with lots of federal regulation. And knowing it, understanding it, and implementing it, and making sure that we're following it so that our institution remains eligible. Thankfully, I have a great staff that helps making the delegating task easy, and I know they'll get their jobs done. One thing that Amy had kind of touched on, and I think that honestly, jobs like this, you don't necessarily have like a set role every day. It's what comes at you. And I don't have a whole lot of student interaction anymore, like on a daily basis. But the one thing I do with students is what we call professional judgments. And those are when students have extenuating circumstances that don't fit the norm of most people. And sometimes that can be like in a family estrangement or something like that. And they need some additional help. They're not sure what's out there for them. They can't answer the FAFSA questions like everybody else. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help those anomaly situations. And also to help students at any time. My door's always open.
That's awesome. Thank
really
you.
Wonderful. Were you going to say something, Lori? I'm sorry.
No, no.
Okay. So I do want to take a quick diversion from my questions list because I thought of something that I think would be really helpful for students. So I'm just going to show that link. This is a video that we did. We involved financial aid's office in the planning and preparation of it. And it's just a link to a financial aid video on the whole process of financial aid. And at the end of this, I'll play it. It's a 90-second video. But I just wanted to clue everybody into that's coming up. It's a great video that we have and that you can do with financial aid. So very cool. Or I won't play it afterwards. I'll just put a link into it in the Facebook and YouTube pages so that people can see it afterwards so they can understand our full process. But this next question is for both Amy and Tiffany. We'll have Tiffany go first and then we'll have Amy go second. What do you think will be in the crystal ball for financial aid in the coming years, anywhere in the country or at College of Eastern Idaho? So we'll start with Tiffany.
Okay. I'm not sure about what's in the crystal ball, but I can tell you what I hope for. There has been some rumblings about doing away with 2 different kinds of loans. And honestly, that's actually what I wish for. I wish that they would change how the student loan program is set up. For instance, I wish that they would make the interest rate lower for students. That way allows them easier and quicker payoff. I think a lot of students struggle with debt after they get their degrees, and then they're like, how am I going to pay this now? Because oftentimes it's so easy to take that student loan, and a lot of students use it for everything. They use it for travel, they use it for daycare, they use it for everything. And then they get out of school and now they have thousands and thousands of loan debt, and they have to figure out how to pay that off. And so I wish the program itself would just change to be more student mindful, I guess. I don't know how else to say that. I also think that they should keep all student loans interest-free while the student is in school, so that they do have that option, sort of like a payment plan, to pay that loan off while they're in school if they can. That's not always the case. Not everybody can do that. But if you needed to take loans out for some books, but you could pay them off in the semester or within a year, I think that would be so much more beneficial. And in doing so, that would take away the unsubsidized loan. And that would be my other wish, is that they would just get rid of the unsubsidized and only give the subsidized loan out. That will probably never happen, but that's my wish for sure. And then another thing that I would hope for, I don't even say hope, but that's what I'm going with because I don't know what the crystal ball says, is a little bit more help for our middle income students. There's not a whole lot of help for them. And a lot of them want to stay debt free. They may or may not be able to get scholarships or get enough scholarships. And so they struggle to get free assistance. And so that's what
some of them have no parental support.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Yep. So that's my crystal ball.
Amy, same question. What's in the crystal ball?
Can I just say same answer and be good?
You
can.
Done. No, I totally agree with her. But then how she mentioned up the student loans, I've kind of seen some things too, and that I hope that comes through is that for those students that do have to borrow those student loans, that those payment plans that they have are just easier to understand. Right now, there are so many options. And if you don't word something the right way, you're in one that probably isn't the best option for you. But I think it just kind of tags on with what she said, is that they either, if they can make those payments while they're in school and graduate debt free, or at least have a more clear option once they graduate. I think that would be great.
Thank you so much. I agree. I think those are some really good suggestions, and hopefully those do get implemented.
Yeah, great answers, guys. Okay, Amy, the next question is for you. What advantages do students with financial aid have at a small Idaho community college?
I think one of the biggest things, especially with us here in Idaho Falls, is that the cost for tuition and fees is lower than a four-year institution, but they're also, their living costs can be lower because they can stay home or somewhere where they're already established. Like I mentioned earlier, I had the privilege of working for Idaho Falls, Idaho State University, Idaho Falls Center. And so I didn't work on the big campus. So I have this small campus feel. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the biggest things is that the cost of living, that cost for tuition and fees and stuff like that is a lot lower. But I think it also helps that student, if they decide to go on to get a bachelor's degree, they have an idea of what questions to ask that might be specific to that institution. It's like, so this is how it worked here. Do you have something similar here where I'm going to go? So I think that will help them that way as well. Just gives them more skills and knowledge.
Great. That's a great answer. Thanks, Amy.
Okay, I have the next question for Tiffany. Tell us about the CRSSA, or as we call CRSSA, funds, and also the HERF.
I call it HERF. I don't know.
All the COVID-related funds, and what can students expect, and what is the lowdown with all of that?
Okay, so the CRSSA, what it stands for is the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act. So it is similar to the CARES Act, where we awarded that last January, but it does have a few small differences. But it essentially provides emergency funding to institutions of higher education to assist students in need during the coronavirus pandemic. So students can expect to be awarded this week, like we announced earlier, and then we'll start disbursements next week. The biggest reason is that we are trying to promote students to sign up for direct deposit. This is quicker for us to process. We don't have to cut checks. You can get it in your bank account. It's quicker. You don't have to wait for the postal service. So please sign up for direct deposit if you haven't done so. And that information will be coming to you in an email, hopefully today or tomorrow. So awards for this CRSSA funding will be anywhere from $850, and that's directed to students that are full-time and demonstrate the highest amount of need. So if your expected family contribution was a 0 on your FAFSA application, and you were full-time this spring term, you should expect to get $850. And then our awards range from there all the way down to $225. Of course, students for this group that we've selected, they need to be at least 6 credits, and you need to be a citizen or an eligible non-citizen. And then, of course, because of the guidance and the regulations from these CRSSA funds or from the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, that's the HERF is what that stands for, that priority will be given to students with exceptional need first. And so that's where we've really focused the majority of our funds. And we're also, students have to be meeting satisfactory academic progress. So if you're not meeting that, you may not see awards at this time. Okay.
So it's really important for students to check their official CEI emails.
Yes, it
Make
is.
sure they can get this information, because there's literally a potential paycheck tied to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's about the gist of it.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany.
You
Okay,
bet.
Amy, next question for you. What is the best advice about financial aid you can give to students?
If you have a question, ask. I think communication is huge with that. I learned this when I was working in student services for ISU, and then here a student would come up to the front desk and they'd say, I have a stupid question. And I would say, it's only a stupid question if you already know the answer. So if they do, but if you have the questions about your financial aid, ask. If you don't know if you qualify, ask. The worst they're going to tell you is no. But, just have that communication. If you end up borrowing student loans, make sure you know who your loan servicer is. And if there's an issue, you contact them. It's just, communication is just huge, especially when it comes to finances.
Great. That's awesome. And good advice. Great advice.
It really is. And again, that applies beyond financial aid too. Just ask those questions. Okay. The next question is something we do with all of our guests that we like to do lately. We've been doing with all of our guests. And it's a way of getting to know you and having the students get to know you, but also a way of really finding inspiration for our students and doing amazing things. So for both of you, who inspires you and why?
Tiffany, you go first.
Okay. Honestly, it's my father probably inspires me the most. He is always helping people, and he shows no bounds to his kindness and his efforts that he puts forth in helping those around him and people that he comes into contact with. And of course, he's retired, and I think it brings him joy and purpose in life to help those around him. And I love that about him. I think that's so commendable. He finds joy in simple things in life. And when I talk to him, he is so wise and has some of the best input. And it's just always such a pleasure to talk to him about anything that's happening in my life or others or his grandchildren's, whatever. He doesn't let the small stuff bother him, and I love that. He just takes it in stride. And honestly, it is the best day when I can make him laugh. It feels like I've accomplished something.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Amy, same question.
Okay. So my mom is the first one that comes to my mind. I always think back, when you're little, everybody always asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up, or what do you want to do? And my answer was always, and still is, a mom. I want to be a mom like my mom. She is loving, hardworking. She will do anything for her kids, grandkids, or brothers and sisters. I mean, she is I just am in awe of her every day. I love being able to spend time with her and just learning from her and, understanding that's, life is life. Take it a day at a time. and enjoy every second.
I love that both of you talked about your parents. I mean, that's just so amazing. I mean, of all the people you could have picked, you chose Tiffany, your dad, Amy, your mom. And so they must be some pretty amazing people. I've never met either of them. I hope someday I can meet them because they sound fabulous. So thank you for that. It was really very inspiring. All right, so this is for both of you as well. What do you wish you knew about the financial aid process when you were going to college?
I'll go ahead and go first, Amy. I wish I would have known back when I started my college career. I wish I would have known about credits transferring and just the ability to take classes from like a community college and pay a little bit less money and get the same quality education and have those credits transferred to a higher, institution. I wish I would have known and understood that. We also have a term for that. It's called a consortium agreement. And I wish I would have known about that. And I wish I would have taken advantage of that while I was in school. I would have saved myself literally thousands of dollars. And I wish I would have known.
Great. That's awesome. Okay, Amy?
I wish I would have understood more the importance of scholarships and not doing loans. When I was a freshman, I found out while I was at work one day, I got a call saying that I was awarded the scholarship that my high school counselors had applied me for the Huntsman Cancer Survivor Scholarship, and it was a $5,000 scholarship.
Wow.
And I found out years later that it was renewable, but I was not a very smart freshman, and I lost the scholarship.
Oh.
But I had it for that year, but it was just the importance of scholarships in that you don't have to pay a scholarship back, where that amount that you get offered in loans looks very enticing and nice because you get money right away, but you have to pay it back. And so it's just that importance of scholarships and understanding that process better.
Well, and really asking questions about scholarships too, because there are so many unawarded scholarships, and so much money that's not awarded sometimes. And really, I find if students just ask me, I can look into their situation. We can find some funds sometimes. And so it's just really important to make sure that students are asking, their financial aid office about scholarships. That's a really good piece of advice. And again, I put the video link about how to do financial aid on the screen there so that people can do that. Well, I have our last question for you, and it's for both of you. We'll have Amy go first this time, and Tiffany go second. What parting words of wisdom do you have for our students?
If you don't know, ask. I mean, you can go to anybody's office and ask, and they'll direct you. The team here is so great. They'll find the answer and at least find the right person for you to talk to and get you to that person. So just ask. Just
ask and use that advice your whole life.
That's right.
Tiffany.
Mine are apply for scholarships, borrow loans wisely and only as needed, and remember that you will have to pay them back, and it could be for the rest of your life.
Or at least 25 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's the rest of my life.
I hope it's not the rest of my life. I guess it is. Anyway. Well, thank you for that wonderful advice. Lori, do you have any parting words? I sometimes forget to ask you.
Oh, no, I think that Tiffany and Amy have given some wonderful parting words of wisdom, so we should leave it at that. But I would encourage all of the students, just returning back to our original quote, make sure you're getting some rest, and rest where you're not just worrying constantly about everything that you need to do. You deserve just a mental break, to take a break from all of the hurries and worries of life. So I would encourage you to do that.
Great. My parting words are if you have a student concern, or if you know a student who has a concern, send an email to student.concern@cei.edu, or call our main number, 208-524-3000, option 4. Again, students, we're here. We're cheering you on. We're looking out for your success. We want you to be successful. I'll post that financial aid video link in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube. So thanks again to our special guests
Thank
and
you.
my co-host. So we had Amy Anderson, Tiffany Cleverly, and Lori Barber. And my name, as always, is Mike Walker, Dean of Students. So thank you so much today. Have a great week. You're going to have the great rest of the semester. And don't forget to apply for scholarships and to ask questions.
That's right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.